if you check in on Foursquare, you'll get something special. If it works, Foursquare is going to be having some trouble with badges right now. But we hope you have a great time and enjoy the rest of the talks tonight. Thank you.
I missed practice, so I think they made me go first. My name is Amy Beach. I'm here to talk about hopefully drinking your way to a better you. What I really mean by that is drinking better drinks, drinking cocktails that are good. This is not your only option. If you're drinking a cocktail, you don't have to have a douchey bartender make your drink for you. It doesn't have to be a rum and coke. It doesn't have to be some Singapore Sling. Don't get me wrong, I probably said really kind of ginger stuff. That's the end of my talk. My name's Amy. I'm an amateur mixologist, but I'm a professional drinker, and you can find me on Twitter, Amy Beach, and I'm kosherdiets.com. Thanks.
Hello. Hi, I'm Aaron Chevalier, and William Gibson said the future is here, it's just not evenly distributed yet. He's right, but what he didn't say is that it's our job to distribute it. One of the tools in doing that is a fab, which is a small manufacturing plant that you give raw material and digital plans to, and then it prints out a real physical object for you to use.
In the organization, I found a live, local community that became like my family. If you want to be a legend, put down your Xbox, put down your 4-button guitar, and come sing with somebody old enough to be your grandpa.
My name is Jean, and tonight I'm here to help you out with a little test preparation. Now this admissions test is a little different. If you fail it, you do get admitted. If you ever find yourself in the emergency room of a psychiatric hospital, there's a series of questions that you can expect to be asked. I'm going to give you some tips tonight on how to answer those questions calmly and sensibly, and thereby improve your chances of looking more normal than crazy. So first question, what's your name? You think, oh, that's a stupid question. They have my name right there in front of them on the form that I just filled out. But in psychiatric intake, there are no stupid questions. There are only stupid answers. Don't get off on the wrong foot by being hostile. This is a good way to get yourself labeled paranoid. Just answer the question, just give them your name. Answer all the questions, actually, that's a good rule. What is today's date? Okay, there's probably leeway on this because there's probably some people, normal people, who don't know what the date is today, but it's a really good idea to know what year it is. And finally, where are you? Just give the name of the city and the hospital you're in. Don't say in the loony bin or in a Kafka novel or something clever like that. Unless you want to be labeled paranoid and delusional. So, how many people got all three right so far? Good job. Easy questions, but good to review them. Now let's move on to the brain teasers. They'll ask you to memorize a list of 3 3 ordinary items, like apple, cat, house. I'm not kidding. And they'll ask you to recall those items 1 minute later. And if you can do that, great. But just remember, 5 minutes later, they'll ask you to recall them again. They'll ask you to spell a word backwards. In my case, they've always asked me to spell the word world backwards. I don't know if that's supposed to be especially tricky, but you may as well memorize it right now. Here's the good one. Amber will appreciate this. They make you count backwards from 100 in increments of 7. Like 93, 86, 79, 72, 65, 58, 51, and 44, yeah. Right, if you're really good at that, they might think you're a little crazy. Now let's get into the big questions. If you've ever heard the phrase, a danger to oneself or others, you know there are 2 questions you cannot screw up. There's one answer to them, and that's no. Do you ever think of killing yourself? No. Right. See, you guys aren't going to have trouble. You know, a lot of people have thoughts of suicide, but this is no time to get into a debate about existentialism and meaning of life. It's definitely a bad time to quote Virginia Woolf. Don't mention anything that's even tangentially related to suicide. There are no innocent remarks in psychiatric interview. Do you ever think of killing other people? Of course, you know, we get to that point where we say, ooh, I'm going to kill him. You know, somebody took your parking space. Or you had to wait 45 minutes on hold. But the answer is no. Even if you do want to murder your boyfriend, the one that got you into this mess in the first place, by bringing you to the emergency room under false pretenses, do not answer, yeah, I'm definitely going to kill him. Which brings me to an important principle. Psychiatric intake, like airport security, is no place for jokes. And that can be the hardest rule of all to follow. If you're like me, you use humor to, you know, all the time, especially when you're nervous. But this is officially a humor-free zone. It's also a good rule not to say you know famous people. That's what they call grandiose. Don't tell them that you work with the author of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, even if in fact you do. In fact, don't mention One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in any context. It's a really sensitive subject. They think that you're comparing them to Nurse Ratched. You probably are. So, no, my best advice is this. Memorize one number. The telephone number of a good friend or family member who can come and help get you out. Because I can't even imagine going through all this without somebody by my side reminding me that while I may not be totally normal, I definitely do not belong in the loony bin. 5 minutes are up. You still remember this? Am I on yet? Ooh, this is loud.
Up on the screen, you can see we're going to do this again in September on the 23rd. Ignite Portland 9 is going to take place in this